When the price of a barrel of oil goes up, the American economy goes down. A storm is gathering in the Mideast that threatens to engulf our world. America is at a crossroads. How can we stop the gathering storm? We've been here before. Within our own borders are the resources to right past wrongs and change this nation's destiny. The Gathering Storm, a film by Aaron Price. My name is Aaron Price. You may have seen me on TV discussing my film, Gas Odyssey, or heard me on the radio debating Josh Fox. But who am I? And why does the gathering storm in the Middle East matter to you as it matters to me? I have in my hand a cross. It is a symbol of an ancient faith that began in Palestine and spread to every corner of the globe. There is a new faith being born today in Syria and Iraq. It is not a faith based on love, but on hate. And unless it is stopped, that faith, militant Islam, will threaten our faith and our lives. Does that bother you? It should. Every day now, in northern Iraq and Syria, the lives and property of Christians and other religious minorities are treated like that cross. Their businesses are looted. Their homes are confiscated. Their churches and shrines desecrated. Christian refugees choke the roads and villages of Syria and Iraq, looking for help and protection. And all of this is done by the Islamic State in the name of religion, in the name of their God. Can the lives and communities of Christians in Iraq and Syria be put back together again? Maybe. Dominoes, a game we played as kids, but it's not a game anymore. This is Iraq. This is Syria. This is Saudi Arabia. This is Kuwait. This is Jordan. And this is Lebanon. The Islamic State started in Iraq as a branch of Al-Qaeda. It has spread to Assad's Syria. And its goal is to sweep away all the governments and monarchs of the Middle East and replace them with an Islamic empire, a caliphate, like this. Out of many, one. Where have we seen this before?
You know, the parallels I see today in the world is what I said in the beginning. All dictatorships work with fear and promises. And nothing really has changed much. In the Middle East, the people, I would say some of them, not all of them, you know, they are very educated or advanced people, but some of them probably also out of poverty and other reasons, they join a religious movement, and then like Nazism was also a sort of a religion, like all philosophies are, or whatever, like we have today. Environmentalism is a religion. And that's why I think you have a very, very similar situation in the Middle East as you had in Germany.
The slogan of the Islamic State is remaining and expanding. The symbols of the Soviet Union were the hammer and the sickle. The slogan and these symbols are the same. From 1921 until 1991, 70 years, the Soviet Union financed terrorists and shadow armies and overthrew the governments of its neighbors. Tens of millions of Russians were starved, gassed, and shot to realize the dream of Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin. In the midst of chaos, the anarchy of World War II, the Soviet Union won its biggest triumph, taking over the countries of Eastern Europe and placing them behind an Iron Curtain. How does this affect you in America? How does this affect you in your daily lives? 40% of the oil that is traded globally comes from the Middle East, North Africa region. The price of oil is set on global markets. So what happens in the Middle East or happens in Venezuela or Nigeria affects what you pay at the pump. We are going into a long cycle of instability in the Middle East. The civil war that is now brewing between Sunnis and Shiites is a proxy war between Iran and Saudi Arabia. And very soon, it will stop being a proxy war, but an actual war between those two nations and their allies. If you look at what happened during the war between Iran and Iraq in the 80s, for nearly 8 years, both countries slugged it out with over 1 million casualties, with the use on the Iraqi side of chemical weapons against Iranian troops, and with Iran using human wave tactics, even using children with keys to heaven around their neck to try and overwhelm Iraqi defenses. As Iran is now developing atomic weapons, the next war between Shiites and Sunnis won't take 8 years. It'll take 8 minutes to destroy the work of generations in the Middle East. People have a lot of misconceptions about energy. They believe that oil is like you get a drink of water. When you get a drink of water, you turn on the spigot, you get your glass of water. That's not the case with oil. A war in the Middle East that involves the destruction of oil fields and ports will imperil the whole world's economic stability. We cannot just automatically replace 40% of the world's oil. It can't happen. So what do we need to do here in America now to stop the gathering storm? First of all, we need to develop our own oil and natural gas resources. We need to keep drilling to produce more oil. We need to keep drilling to produce more natural gas. With natural gas, we also have to make a switch, not only to use it to generate electricity, but to fuel our cars. We've all heard of the subsidies the government offers for electric cars, and the fact that it demands that Detroit makes electric cars. Our government should demand, and we should demand as a public, that natural gas cars are available nationwide so we can get off imported oil even quicker, because it's necessary. I'll just tell you a little bit about my background, as I said I would at the beginning. The first film I directed was called Gas Odyssey, and it was about the development of the Marcellus Shale in northeast Pennsylvania, Dimock, Montrose, and what we in New York State hoped developing the Marcellus would do for us in upstate. After that, I worked on some other films on energy and other topics. I came to this topic of the gathering storm because I'm a student of history. I look at trends. I look at what is likely to happen. Not what I want to happen, but what I know will happen. The world is in a bad place today, and it's headed to a worse place. American leadership is critical to stop what is happening in the Middle East and to keep us safe here in America. You know, the Islamic State is dreaming a big dream, but I think we here in America and in the West should dream a better dream. We should dream a dream where all people in the Middle East share the same land, if not the same faith. We should work for a world where Christians in the Middle East die in their beds, not in their streets. We have a responsibility here in America to develop our own oil and gas, and not to use the oil and gas of others when we have been provided with plenty of resources here for us to use. We don't need necessarily to fight, but we do need to be smarter. One way to defeat the enemy is to stop giving him the money he's going to use to kill you. I would rather buy my energy from Montrose than Mosul. I would rather pay a farmer in Pennsylvania than a sheik in Saudi Arabia for my energy. You know, it's personal to me because not only is there a gathering storm in the Middle East, there's a gathering storm here in America. I was born in Binghamton, New York in the 70s, and I watched with sadness as my hometown basically died, as businesses left, as people left, and the town and the area I'm from became a shadow of itself. In many parts of the United States of America, people don't have hope. People don't believe in a better future. Developing our own resources can provide that better future. We need to change the path we are on, because there's a storm gathering within our own borders. Never before have people in America felt so hopeless, so helpless. And the reason they feel that way, our government knows the solutions to the problems of our economy. But because of philosophy and ideology, they will not take the steps that are necessary to make America great and strong again. You know, I would ask that everyone who's watching this, everyone who's hearing this, apathy is our greatest enemy. Action is the cure for apathy. Contact your government. You know what's right. Everyone knows in their heart what we need to do in America to make us great again. Do those things. Develop our own resources. Rebuild our economies in towns like Binghamton and Syracuse. Give the next generation a better life. Or someday, life in America may look a lot like life in Baghdad.